Hey everybody, this is Rachel from Cypress Textiles, and today we're going to make the Magnolia square for the Vibrant Vintage crochet along. So let's get started. Alright, we're going to start just like normal with a chain 3. So slip knot and get those 3 chains on your hook there, and then slip stitch into the first chain, the third chain from the hook, to make your ring. Now in my ring I'm going to make what I call a beginning 2DC cluster. So I'm just going to make a beginning DC, which is a single crochet and a chain, and then I'm going to make a regular DC, and when I come back around to join, that regular DC is going to be the top of my cluster. So this is kind of how I make my first cluster for the round. And then chain 2. And we're going to make another 2DC cluster. So I'm going to insert the hook and pull up a loop, insert yarn over the hook and draw the yarn through 2 loops on the hook, leaving 1 loop behind. Then yarn over, insert the hook again, and yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull the yarn through 2 loops again. Now you've got 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull the yarn through all 3 loops, and now you've got a 2DC cluster there. And that is our repeat. We're going to do chain 2, 2DC cluster, and that is going to be a total of 6 more times to make 8 clusters in total. So now I'm ready to join my first round here, and joining into this first DC, but I'm going to grab these front 2 loops of the DC. I'm not going to join like this. I'm going to pretend this is a cluster. So I'm going to take these first 2 loops here of the DC and then insert my hook through the space to make my slip stitch. For round 2, we're going to do 5 double crochets in all of the chain spaces around. So first I'm going to jump right into a beginning DC by going into my chain space and making a single crochet, and then a chain 1. That's my beginning DC, and I'll make 4 more double crochets in this chain space to make 5 DC total. And now I'm going to make 5 double crochets in all the remaining chain spaces around, and I will see you guys when I'm done with that. Alrighty, so now I've got 5 DC in all the chain spaces around, and it looks a little crowded, but don't worry, we're going to uncrowd it on the next round. So for our next round, instead of joining, we're just going to go straight into this beginning DC with a beginning DC. So make your single crochet and your chain, and we didn't join it, we just worked straight into it, and then now the round is joined kind of by working the beginning of our next round. Okay, so I'm going to make a decrease here. So yarn over, insert the hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook. So now you're at this point with 1 loop remaining, just like we did the cluster, but we're going to work over several stitches so that way it makes a decrease. And what we're going to end up doing is decreasing all of these stitches together. So now yarn over, insert the hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and through 2 loops on the hook. Now you've got that, so do the same thing in the next one, leaving 1 loop behind. It's kind of like you're going to work a DC, but you leave the loop on your hook instead of working into it. There we go. Now I've got 5 loops on my hook, and I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 5 loops. Okay, so now you're going to chain 4 after that decrease, and then you're going to make this decrease as a full DC 5 together. So we're going to yarn over, insert the hook just like before, and through 2 loops again, and now we've got that 1 loop on our hook plus our leading loop. Now we'll do the same thing with the remaining 4 double crochet there. Okay, so now we've got 6 loops on our hook to pull the yarn through. Okay, so just chain 4 and make that decrease over all of these remaining petals here until we're at the very beginning, and we've got chain 4 on our hook ready to join. Okay, so now I'm ready to join. I've got my 4 chains on the hook here, and there we go. I've got my 4 chains on the hook now, and I'm ready to join. So how I join into a decrease is by inserting my hook back through all of those loops of the decrease, and then just making a slip stitch, which will lay flat against all of those loops, kind of blending in. And now we're ready to work into our chain space, and it's curling up a little bit, but don't worry, we're about to put a bunch of stitches in these chain spaces, 8 to be exact. So I'm going to start with a beginning DC, and then I'm going to make 7 more DCs in that chain space. Okay, to make 8 altogether. Alrighty, so after you've got your 8 double crochets, you chain 1, and then go ahead and jump right into making 8 double crochets in your next chain space. So that's your repeat: chain 1 and 8 double crochet in the chain space in the remaining 7 chain spaces, and then chain 1, and then I'll meet you back for join. So you can see our center portion is not puffed out anymore, and I'm ready to join the round here. So I've got 1 chain on my hook, and I'm going to join into this beginning DC, okay, with the 2 back portions of the chain, making a slip stitch and letting the slip stitch lie flush over the beginning DC. And I'm going to slip stitch actually again for the next round into the next stitch. That way where I end up is going to be in this 3rd double crochet here. So you count your beginning DC, 1 DC, and that's where we're going to start. I'm going to make a single crochet, chain 2, and then skip 2, 1, 2, make a single crochet in the next stitch. So now we've got our 2 double crochets laying there unworked. I'm going to chain 2 and single crochet in this chain space. And that's basically what we're doing here. We're going to chain 2, skip 2, make a single, chain 2, skip 2, make a single, and chain 2 and make a single in the chain space. All right, that's our repeat all the way around until we get back to the beginning. The last single you're going to make is in this chain space, and then chain 2 and get ready to join. Okay, I'm ready to join here. So I've got 2 chains on my hook, and I'm going to slip stitch into our very first single. Okay, now I'm ready to work into this chain space. Okay, and I'm going to make a 1 beginning DC in this chain space, and then 2 more DC. All right, and then I'll make 3 single crochets in the next chain space. Then I'm going to single crochet into this stitch here. All right, we skipped the last one, but we crocheted into this one. Now 3 single crochet in the chain space, and then 3 double crochet in the next chain space. All right, now we're going to move into our corner. So we're going to do treble crochets, and the way I make trebles is by keeping it tight before I start. That way I don't have a big, long, loose treble crochet. So with my treble, go to the next one. Now chain 3, and 3 more trebles in that single crochet. Okay, so now our corner is complete, and that is going to be our repeat. We're going to jump right into our repeat, which is 3 double crochets in the next chain space, 3 single crochets in the next chain space, a single crochet in that center single, 3 singles in the next chain space, 3 doubles in the next chain space, and then our corner, which is in this single crochet right here. 3 trebles, chain 3, 3 trebles. All right, and that's our repeat. So I'm going to go ahead and complete it by working this repeat 3 more times until we get to the beginning of the round, and then we're ready to join. Okay, so I'm ready to join here, and of course the chain spaces that come before and after our corner are left unworked, so we're going to skip over this chain space and just join straight into our beginning DC with a slip stitch. All right, and now we are at the finish line, so we are going to just do our last round of single crochet. So in every stitch around, you're going to make a single crochet, and then in the corners you're going to go ahead and do 3 single crochet. Okay, so I've got single crochet in all my stitches across here and 3 in the corner, and now I'm going to work that way as my repeat, single crochet in all the stitches to the corner until I get to the first corner. Then I'm going to have to work 1, 2, 3, 4 more singles before I join. So I'll see you guys at that point. Alrighty, so that's the end of your square, and I've actually already joined in the first stitch of the round. So let me go ahead and cut that yarn, and then we'll weave the tail like normal. Okay. Oh, I cut a short tail, but that's okay. All right, so insert the hook from back to front in the stitch to the left of the joining stitch. This is how I always hide my yarn tails. Pull the tail to the back and insert your hook from back to front through the back loop only of the stitch to the right of the joining stitch. All right, and pull the tail to the back, and now you're just going to go on that same maneuver until your tail is all the way hidden. Back to front through back loop only, and pull that tail through. All right, and that's how I hide my yarn tail. Anyway, this is the Magnolia square. I hope you guys like it. I think it's a really pretty square and would make a nice square for a standalone blanket as well, especially because I like the trebles in the corner. I think it makes it look kind of ornate. So I hope you guys liked it, and happy crafting, you guys. I'll see you for the next one. Bye, guys.